I'm the Texas troublemaker. We're going to talk about the State of the Union address. Now, we're not going to go through that whole long State of the Union speech. I really just want to talk about a couple of key moments, important points that I feel deserve a closer look. Now, we may get into some other stuff after that, but we're going to start with that State of the Union address, and we're going to do it right now.
If you're looking for trouble, you got the right place. If you're looking for trouble, look right in my face.
All right, so again, I'm the Texas troublemaker. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. I promise never to waste your time. We keep things short and to the point, and I welcome all points of view. If you can keep it respectful, that would be great. As a veteran, I fought for your freedom of speech so you can say whatever you want to say. And I fully support you being able to do that, whether I agree with you or not. Now let's get into the State of the Union. There were a couple of things that stood out. Now, I didn't watch it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I watched a bunch of clips on the news the next day, and there were some things that I picked up on, and that's what we're gonna talk about. So Trump pointed out that he got rid of DEI.
We ended DEI in America.
So we're going to talk about that a little bit. What is DEI? Who benefited from it? Who benefits from him shutting it down, as he's claiming that he did? Obviously, I think everyone knows that DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. That just means let's include everybody in the workplace, in the government, etc. Let's have representation for everyone. Let me just briefly talk to Trump supporters for a minute. Now, I'm a conservative, not a big fan of Donald Trump. I'm not a MAGA conservative, but I've been conservative my entire voting life. Not to say that I always vote Republican. I'm not a party lines type of Republican, but my views kind of lean conservative. But I'm an independent thinker. I have my own mind. I don't let someone else do my thinking for me. I don't parrot someone else's views. I think things through, and I go with what makes sense to me. And there's no one on the planet that I would probably agree with 100% of the time. If there's someone that you feel like you agree with 100% of the time, you're in a cult. That's not natural. So that being said, I encourage Trump supporters to think for yourselves. If you're an Obama supporter, I would like to encourage you to think for yourself. Doesn't matter who you support, you should always think for yourself. There should be some things that you like about them and some things that maybe you don't like. Again, if you like everything that they do, every decision they make, and you agree with them 100% of the time, you're a cult member, and you should be careful about that. So, getting back to the DEI topic. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Put in the comments what you think is wrong with that. Now, I know there are some who would like to try and frame that as hiring people on the basis of their color rather than on their skills or their experience. I've heard it called a meritocracy, but what it really is a system that excludes everyone who doesn't look like you, think like you, behave like you, and that's not good. But let's talk about who has benefited the most from DEI. Statistically, it has been white women. Because women have been paid less for doing the same work in the past. And the DEI programs have leveled the playing field for women. And the majority of those women have been white women. Obviously, the majority of the women in our country are white women. So they're the ones who've benefited from it the most. So if you're a white woman and you support Donald Trump saying he's gotten rid of DEI, then guess what? You're hurting yourself. So yeah, other than women, racial minorities, of course, have benefited from DEI, but also people with disabilities have benefited from it. Veterans have benefited from it. So there have been many groups who have benefited from DEI. But that's a good thing. It makes us a better nation. It makes us a stronger nation when we can capitalize on what everyone brings to the table. If we just talk about black people, this is Black History Month. The inventions that black people have contributed to this country are incredible, and you probably don't know about them. I don't know about some of them. I learn new things all the time. Because that's a history that is not taught, is not thought of as important, but it's very important. Let me just go over a few things that blacks have contributed to this country. The traffic signal, for example. You know, the red, yellow, green lights that you see every time you go out and drive your car that control the traffic, stop everybody from running into each other. You know, that was invented by a black person, Garrett Morgan. And mobile refrigeration was invented by a black person. So the refrigerator trucks that keep food fresh while they're delivering things around the country, black person. Home security system, carbon filament for the light bulb. Thomas Edison has been credited with inventing the light bulb, but the light bulb that he invented, the filament would burn out within seconds, or maybe a couple minutes at the most. He couldn't come up with a filament that would burn any length of time at all. There was a man named Lewis Latimer. He was a black man who invented the filament that is used in light bulbs to this day. Without that filament, the light bulb would be worthless. The modern ironing board, the super soaker. Now that's a toy. I don't know how important that is, but it's apparently a big deal to some. Voice over internet protocol that allows you to make internet phone calls. Invented by a black person, Marion Rogers. Automatic elevator doors. Blood bank technology. That was invented by Charles Drew. I believe he also did the first successful heart transplant as well. Automatic gear shifts. Cataract laser surgery was invented by a black person. So I'm not gonna dwell on that, that's enough. But where would we be without all of those inventions that were invented by black people? So where would we be without the diversity and inclusion that allows everyone to contribute? So those that applauded Donald Trump for saying he got rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion, I want you to understand what it is you're applauding for. Where would our country be without allowing everyone to contribute? So when I talk about being an independent thinker, that's what I mean. I mean, think things through. So that was a moment that seemed to be a pretty big moment during the State of the Union address. And so I wanted to just talk about that. So another big moment I saw was when Donald Trump asked everyone to stand up if you agree with this statement.
If you agree with this statement, then stand up and show your support. The first duty of the American government is to protect American citizens, not illegal aliens.
So, and you saw all the Republicans stand up and none of the Democrats stood. And I think that was the biggest Republican ovation of the night. And I have to give it to him on that one. That was pretty brilliant. Now, I doubt that Donald Trump came up with that idea. That looks like litigator theatrics to me. And so I'm sure it was someone on the legal team who came up with that one. So the Republicans will be saying, this proves it. Democrats don't care about U.S. citizens. They care more about illegal aliens than they do about U.S. citizens. But that's not the reason they didn't stand. The reason they didn't stand, it's really hypocritical rhetoric for Donald Trump to say he cares more about the U.S. citizens when his Gestapo has murdered 2 U.S. citizens. And they also have harassed countless others, knocking them down in the streets, spraying the tear gas, breaking into private property without a warrant, and on and on and on. These are things they've done to U.S. citizens, not to illegal immigrants. While he's saying the first duty of government is to the U.S. citizens. So can you see why Democrats might not want to stand? Also, Donald Trump has been padding his own bank accounts since he was reelected. Selling Bibles to selling crypto to selling dinners, $500,000 dinners at Mar-a-Lago to give people access to him. Now, this is called selling influence, and this is illegal. The only reason he's getting away with it is because he has the backing of the Senate that will allow him to do that. And the House and the Senate, they allow him to do these things. He has, in large part, the backing of the Supreme Court. He has the DOJ. So he can get away with these things. These are criminal activities. Do you think that's putting American citizens first? If you had insurance through the Affordable Care Act, what are you using for insurance now? Because Donald Trump did away with it. He did away with the subsidies that brought the price down and made it affordable for working class people. What did he do with the money? Oh, he gave his billionaire friends tax cuts. Is that putting United States citizens first? Not if you're a working class citizen, he's not putting you first. Now, if you're a billionaire United States citizen, maybe you can argue that, yeah, he's putting you first, but that's a very, very small percentage of citizens. That's probably about 1% of 1% of the citizens in the United States, if that. So again, knowing all of this, do you still stand up when he says he puts United States citizens first? Do you still stand up and applaud him? Bravo, bravo. Let me ask you this. What has he done that has made your life better? That's something I really want you to think about. What has he done that has made your life better? Mr. Working Class America, Mrs. Working Class America. This is why I ask you to be an independent thinker, you know? And I'm not even gonna say that Donald Trump hasn't done anything that benefits our country, but most of what he claims has benefited only him, his billionaire friends, his buddies. You know, he's done very little that benefits the average American citizen. And if you disagree with me, again, I welcome your comments. I mean, I would like for you to be respectful. I know some of you probably won't be, but if you can bring something intelligent to the table, oh, I welcome it. I want to hear it. I want to hear all sides. As a veteran, I fought for your right to free speech, and I would do it again, and so I welcome you to speak and say what you mean. That's one of the freedoms we enjoy in the United States, thanks to veterans. Not just veterans like myself who can sit here and talk to you, but many of the veterans who have died for those rights, paid the ultimate sacrifice. So those are really the points I wanted to make about that speech. Subscribe. If you are an independent thinker or you want to become an independent thinker, subscribe to this channel. We'll have discussions that will definitely be thought-provoking, and I will make you think about some things. So subscribe to the channel and feel free to speak your mind. Don't speak Donald Trump's mind to me. Speak your mind. Don't be a parrot of Donald Trump. Speak your mind. When someone says to me, fake news, well, you know, where'd they get that from? They're being a parrot. Don't be a parrot. Be a human with a brain. That's who God made you. So be that. So till next time, I'm the Texas Troublemaker. Go make some good trouble.
If you're looking for trouble, you got the right place. If you're looking for trouble, look right in my face.